Here we are again, video 3 of the landscape kind of playlist, I guess. You can hear I'm constantly doubting it, but you know, I'm here, video 3. What we're going to talk about now is importing landscapes. Not what I meant, importing height maps to landscapes. And kind of dealing with the region problems that can occur. Now, I've seen in the comments in my original video relating to regions that there are some other issues cropping up. Now, I did experience some of them, some of those bugs and problems, but if you follow through with this, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't get the issues that you had in your other experiences as long as you set it up correctly. Now, what I'm going to do is show you the typical way, or what would be the ideal way to do this, but it doesn't work usually. It might work randomly this time, but I'm hoping it doesn't. So I've got a couple of examples. On my computer I've got a 4K example and I've got a 16K example. I'm going to try the standard method with the 4K. If the bug occurs, then I'll show you how to deal with it. If it doesn't occur, then it might be that it's related to the height map size as opposed to something else. But anyway, what we would normally do is you would come to landscape mode and you would set your settings up like you would, well, actually, what you would normally do is you would import from file. This is what most people would do, and then they would, you know, leave everything. They would go down to here and they would select their height map file. I'm actually going to save, copy that because that's the 16K example. But on my desktop, I've got this 4K PNG height map, which I just literally one of the presets from Gaia. I just exported that, and I'm just using that as an example. So people would tiled image. It's not a tiled image, but okay. So that set us up for what we need. I would then actually change this to 32 by 32 two sections, so that brings our component value down, and you do all of your, you know, setup, and then you hit import. Now these have got the same component, not component, proxy settings, region settings as the last video, so we should end up with 16 is it 16 I believe. So once this loads, thought it was going to load in a second, it's taking its time even though it's 4K. All right, so we have it's done something, but what has it done? That is the question. We won't know until we go in and look at it. So yeah, the bug has occurred. So it is still happening on 4K maps as well as the 16K. So I won't need to bother with a 16K to show you this. But basically, if I load selected regions, you just see we just get all this chaos. It just does not like it. There's no lighting in this scene, but you can see that there's, you know, some height data going on, and we have our regions, but there's a huge amount of the map missing, and we can't load it. We can't do anything with it. These regions have kind of just been, it's just bugged out, you know, basically. Now what that is, the problem is with how you deal with the import of the height map. For some reason, it's a 5.3 bug, major bug, that causes these problems when you use the import via height map option. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you how to get rid of it by getting rid of that crap. Oh, and we had a crash. Perfect. Okay. So to get around that predicament, what we need to do is, rather than importing via a file, I've got myself a new level here, which I'm going to save current level as, I'm just gonna call it height map import 2, and we're going to go to landscape mode, and we're gonna have these settings. So I mean, this is kind of up to you to kind of play around with. I have found that on 4K specifically, the region amount can cause problems. So I found that certain settings, it's just testing and testing and testing. It's a 5.3 issue. There are only some kind of setups that seem to work. It is just mad buggy. So you want to keep this component value down. 1204 is like the max you ever want to go to really at the moment. And you want to avoid import from file. You want to start by creating your terrain, and then we'll add the height map. There are still issues that can come along with it, but it's the only way you can kind of get it going. So we're going to create that height map and hope everything goes well. I did it on another level and it worked fine. I'm just opening it, trying to do it in real time for you to show you that it can work. Another thing while this is adding that can happen is, as you start doing this process over and over in the same project, I've noticed that the bug kind of stacks on top of itself for some reason, and you end up with more bugs. So I think it's an issue related to probably some kind of like stored data kind of piling up in the background. So we've done that. I'm going to load these regions so we can see them. So we have our we have 4 regions. Each region has 4 tiles or 16 components, and I'm going to times that by 2 so I can fly about a bit better. Okay, so we have our 4 kilometer or 4.3 kilometer squared by 4.3 kilometers squared. I'm going to save it. I'm going to enter back into landscape mode, and I'm going to go to manage and then hit this import option. I'm going to select height map file from this area and go and find my height map file. Now use tiled image. Now I don't know why it's asking me that, because it's not a tiled image. When you hit yes, it goes no, because it's not a tiled image. So I'm going to hit no. So it's picking it up as what it actually is. That might be an issue with my actual file. Don't think there's any problems at all, but anyway, I'm going to now hit import. Loaded only. This is basically import loaded or all landscape regions. I'm just going to keep loaded only on because they are all loaded. And I'm going to hit import. And lo and behold, we have our height map on this bad boy. And if I bring in a directional light. Sky, atmosphere, fog, cloud, and there we go. That is it. It works most of the time. I'm going to just increase the grid size to an obscene number, just so that we can see everything when we run around. Then I'm going to right click play from here. Those shadows are a bug, don't worry about it. But here we go, we have a height map. Pretty basic, but you know, it's just a test example from Gaia, so it's not a very, you know, incredibly detailed one. Just press F11 to full screen if you don't know how to do that. But there you go. That is how you kind of bypass the import issue and all of the region size stuff. I hope that kind of helps. The best thing I can say is to stick to the kind of values that I've shown you, but experiment. You can get away with having more region sizes. I know that if you, let's just say that you spend some time experimenting in one project and then you're like, okay, I've figured out what I want to do, let's go with that. I would then start a new project from fresh and import your new tested values and work from that point. I wouldn't use like your testing proof project to then work from officially, because I noticed when I was doing my tutorial I had to cut the video because I kept getting a bug, a totally new bug that I'd never seen before, and it was almost like it was piling up or accumulating kind of memory and yeah, it just basically just wouldn't even import my landscape. Yet when I'd done a new project with the new settings, as you saw here, that worked like first time with nice flow. So that is basically the way around it, is to know what values you need through testing in a testing project, and then start from scratch and do it first time round. Yeah, and that's it. Basically, it's just a case of, you know, really taking your time and not trying to rush initially, but you know, learning properly, and you'll get there. Sometimes these things are frustrating. It's taken me a long time to just kind of get to grips with it. You can probably tell by just the way I kind of speak that I'm kind of like, hang on, is that right? But you will get there, and yeah, I'm here to try my best to help you, and hopefully we'll make it, you know. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to make extremely large maps, like 20 kilometers squared or 30 kilometers squared, some of the limitations and kind of what you have to do to get to that position. So that's going to be the next video. Yeah, hopefully that's intriguing enough for you, and I'll see you there.